Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is a paid request from Danniel. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp and Patreon, which people have asked about those. All those links are down in the info box. If you use PayPal, just make sure to use family and friends option. Otherwise, PayPal takes a cut of it. And I'll get to it as soon as I can. It could be for pretty much any type of review, re-review, random topic, tier list, ranking, commentary, video game playthrough, whatever the case, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. So thank you. And thanks to Danniel for this request. He wanted me to talk about The Ringer from 2005, which is a film with Johnny Knoxville, one of the few films he got to star in that wasn't a part of Jackass. And I believe it's produced by the Farrelly brothers, which they directed Dumb and Dumber, and There's Something About Mary. They produced this. Barry Blaustein? Barry, he was part of Saturday Night Live, and he helped write... He worked on films like Police Academy 2. I think he helped write Coming to America and The Night Professor. I think he also worked on the sequels, too. Anyway, he made the film. Not only does it star Johnny Knoxville, but you got Brian Cox, who was Colonel Stryker in X-Men 2. He was Hannibal Lecter in Manhunter. Katherine Heigl, who did films like Knocked Up, 27 Dresses, I think like The Ugly Truth. She was in Bride of Chucky before this as one of the stars of it. Apparently she's someone who had a history of being hard to deal with. It was probably why you don't hear about her anymore. But the plot of the film is Johnny Knoxville, he's working this desk job, he wants a promotion, the boss says, fine, you can, but you need to fire this janitor because he's doing a poor job. This very nice janitor with a family called Stavi. Knoxville is a nice guy, he doesn't really want to do it, and he's kind of pussyfooting around. The janitor gets the hint, oh, I can't do this, oh, what am I going to do? And Johnny says, well, how about you work for me and you'll mow my lawns. Granted, I don't know how he's going to afford this guy to pay full time just to mow lawns and still afford your stuff, but it's a movie, I guess somehow he'll do it, I don't know. One thing leads to another. Stavi is mowing one day, he loses his fingers. In order to do the surgery, he needs money. It was like $28,000. Johnny Knoxville doesn't have the money. So he gets in contact with his uncle, Brian Cox, and he also owes money to people. So he gets the idea of, why don't we fix the Special Olympics? You beat this guy who's won all the time named Jimmy, and Knoxville doesn't really want to do that. He's like, are you serious, man? Are you serious about that? So Knoxville has to pretend to be special, mentally handicapped, to get with these folks and be part of the Special Olympics. While there, Katherine Heigl is one of the helpers. He falls in love with her, and so on and so forth. Now, with that kind of plot, this would go very bad one way or the other. But, surprisingly so, it's a lot more sweet than you think. And while I don't think the film was hilarious, I don't think the film was tremendously funny, there are a couple of moments I chuckled, but I think what worked was, weirdly enough, his heart was in the right place. It really wasn't that mean-spirited, especially towards people who are handicapped. And like I said, his heart was in the right place. What was the guy's name? Edward Barbarnell, who's a comedian with Down syndrome. He's one of the main groups that meet up with Johnny Knoxville's character. And very quickly they realize that he is not who he says he is. As they put it, you think you fool us? You're laying it on thick. Yeah, we only do that if we want something. And then Knoxville is like, okay, you guys are right. I'm sorry. Where you going? I'm leaving. Why? We want you to win. We're sick of Jimmy winning. And then you get a montage of them helping Knoxville out. And that's what I mean. It has actually a pretty good heart to it. And there are moments that made me laugh. Brian Cox was fun as the un-PC uncle saying, hey, shipbird. It was funny because I remember a co-worker I had years ago when I used to work at Target, in a fun way, say, hey, shipbird, how's it going? He always thought that was a funny phrase. And I was like, hey, how's it going, man? It's a Hispanic guy named Richard. I always remember that was a very nice guy. Very decent guy. And Brian Cox has some other funny moments in this. Like, for example, oh yeah, you used to be such a great track star, and I kept a scrapbook. And now it feels like, no, you didn't. In my heart, I did. Like, the way he said that was pretty funny. Edward Barbeno as I forget his character's name. I thought he was pretty good. Like, when Johnny Knoxville accidentally drops the CD, and he's like, scratch! Why you scratch my CD, man? Oh, my Lanta, what you doing? And he keeps reminding him, even though Knox was like, yeah, I know, that's why I apologized. But he keeps reminding him again, you scratched my CD. And when they come in and they're sticking up for their buddy, they're like, what'd you do that for? What do you scratch a CD for? You don't be admiring my butt from the pavement with a straw if you keep it up. And that's the thing with the movie that they did well. It was never laughing at them. It was laughing with them. And even when he does his trial, Knoxville comes in like 8th place. And Jimmy, like, he's special, but he's the winner. He's an arrogant, cocky winner. And that's the thing, is that it makes the other characters... Now, granted, not all of them are actually, Down syndrome or such. Like, one guy I recognized, Jed Rees, as Glenn. He was the guy in Galaxy Quest, the alien that he dies and Alan Rickman says that line. I think that was him, wasn't it? He was one of the aliens in Galaxy Quest. I think that was him. Or was it? I can't remember now. I'll look up his character name. It's been a while since I've seen. I do like Galaxy Quest. That is a very solid film. It's been forever since I've seen it. Teb, Second Command. I'm trying to remember which one Teb was. I cannot remember. Anyway, he was in Galaxy Quest as the character Teb, T-E-B. So for those who know Galaxy Quest, at least it's been for a while since I've seen it, so I apologize. Anyway, I remember Galaxy Quest, and I did not mind his character. I didn't mind the other characters. One has the hots for the lunch lady. Oh, my Lanta, you're my kind of woman. Again, I like the fact that, yes, they are special, hence Special Olympics, but they're people like you and me, and they call Knoxville out on his BS. And I like that Johnny Knoxville, he's playing a very nice guy. Like, he thinks it's a bad idea to begin with. He's trying to act like it, but the others think he's put it on a bit too thick. When he finally finds out the jig is up, so to speak, he immediately packs up. It's time to go. He apologizes. And I don't mind Knoxville as an actor. He's not Jim Carrey. He's not Richard Pryor. He's not Eddie Murphy. But I never minded him in other movies, whether it be in The Last Stand with Arnold Schwarzenegger, or Skip Trace with Jackie Chan, or some of these other movies he gets to be a part of. Even in Walking Tall with The Rock, I didn't mind him in those movies. I thought he was fun in the Dukes of Hazzard movie, which I didn't hate. I guess it just depends if you're fine with his acting style, his personality, or not. And here, he's less of the let me play pranks on people, and more of the the nice guy. Like I said, if you're not a fan of Johnny Knoxville, I don't know if this would change your opinion, but he's not being obnoxious in this. He's not being irritating on this. I could definitely deal with him compared to Nick Swardson or someone else like that. Now, I mean, the stuff between him and Katherine Heigl is there. There's this boyfriend that she has. Now, of course, he's a dick. He's a two-timing prick. And Knoxville does some things to be able to warn her that, yes, he is a two-timing prick. But, I mean, like, Katherine Heigl did fine. I didn't really have any issues with her. Knoxville, like, there'll be certain things she says, and he gets this look on his face that he feels bad because it's all a ruse. The montage was fun. I like the usage of the Magnificent Seven music. I thought was kind of interesting. As montage of these guys helping him train. There's a bit where they teeth punch him in the stomach, and he's like, "How is this helping me train?" And he's got a point. And them bonding. He takes them to watch Dirty Dancing at one point, which I thought that was going to come into play later, like something with Dirty Dancing was going to come up much later. But no, it was just a bonding moment, and then at that point, they kind of found out that they left the premises when they weren't supposed to, and that's where they find the dickhead boyfriend, which then they tell the truth to Katherine Heigl, and that's when her and the boyfriend kind of split. But they bond, they have a water gun balloon fight. But yeah, I thought the folks that played the special needs that help Johnny Knoxville, I didn't have issues with them. Yeah, I thought they played it, again, not too ridiculous, at least in my eyes. And there were moments with them that were generally funny. Again, not because we're making fun of them, but I thought they were just, like, for example, what they're playing pool, and one of them tossed to Johnny Knoxville and goes, "Ask me about any movie. Jaws. That's a great movie." He just goes along, and then Knoxville's like, "Well, I mean, he's right. I mean, he's right." Or when the Heidel's boyfriend's lying, "Oh yeah, we took him ice. I took him to ice cream," and one of them goes, "When the fuck did we get ice creams?" So I mean, some of it's pretty funny, and that's what I mean. Like, it's not an overload film. Like I said, the way I think, because when you think of Johnny Knoxville, you think of Jackass. That seems mean-spirited, but they're playing pranks on each other. They have such a core group that they play pranks on each other, and it seems like they treat each other horribly, but that's just how they treat each other. And they're great about pranks and gross stuff, but again, they're doing it to themselves. That's the thing. They're doing it to their own bodies. They're not trying to hurt an innocent person. And like, again, you look at this subject matter, people think, "Oh, it's going to be really mean-spirited," or poor taste. If mean-spirited, maybe that's the wrong choice of words. I think a lot of people would assume it's in very poor taste. But I thought they handled it in a respectful manner. The idea is not the most hilarious movie. It goes by the typical tropes. Of course, eventually he's going to let people know that this is who I really am. You kind of know where the Johnny Knoxville Heidel story's going. You know that they don't win the money. You know, they don't get the money, win the bet to help Stavi get his fingers back. But at the same time, you kind of sit there, well, what did you expect? Do you not want Stavi to get his fingers back? You know, is it an alien come out and pick him up in a spaceship out of the blue? Like, you can complain it's predictable, but it was like, well, where did you think it was going to go? That kind of thing. Like I said, I thought the actors did their jobs fine. I thought that, again, it wasn't a hilarious movie, but like I said, the montage with the Magnificent Seven theme was kind of fun. And there's some lines here that were kind of funny. The other characters don't have a whole lot of subplot going on. Like this one, I forget his name. This one guy with the glasses. There's this one girl that seems like he likes. And Knoxville goes, you should go talk to her. But then Jimmy, the cocky guy, comes in and kind of takes the spotlight. I thought a lot more was going to go into that. Where, okay, Johnny's going to coach this guy to go talk to that girl, you know, and that's going to be this ongoing thing. It really isn't. They did more into spoilers. Pretty much, he competes. This one girl comes up and says, you did a good job. No, I didn't. Well, I mean, I did this as well. And then they kind of hold hands and walk away. I don't know if we ever saw that character. I don't think we ever saw her before. I don't think it's the same. I don't think it was the same girl. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was. But I didn't think it was. And, like, I guess I kind of thought it'd be this, okay, this subplot where he helps this guy do something and Knoxville helps this guy with something. And it doesn't really go into that. Because I thought that could have helped develop the other characters more, other than their special needs. Because that's about as far as you get to who they are. They want to go out and watch a movie like Dirty Dancing. They're helping train Knoxville. That's kind of all you get to know about them. Listen, it would have been nice to get to learn a bit more about them. Whether they know their predicament, but they're kind of frustrated by it, or, yes, I know I'm this and that, but, you know, I still like to do this like you do as well. Maybe they could have pushed a bit more into that arena, that area, that give it a little bit more depth in a couple places. Maybe if you get to know these characters a bit more, you could have a bit more comedy spring up because of that. But I mean, it's more about Knoxville either being trained or Knoxville trying to hook up with Katherine Heigl. I mean, I don't think this needed a love story where, oh, you don't. I mean, like I said, I think it would have been fine if. But a lot of these movies did that. I mean, even Tommy Boy with that girl, that kind of was a love. But it didn't take precedent because it was more about the road trip between him and David Spade. I think that was for the better in that. So there's hints of it, but same with Happy Gilmore. Like there's hints, you know, there's bits of a love story, but then you got the stuff between him and Carl Weathers and, you know, other stuff going on. I guess for me, it's like not every one of these movies needs a love story, but a lot of times they push one in there. Like I said, Katherine Heigl wasn't bad. I didn't mind the bit where she's in the car and there's a picture of her brother. Knoxville goes, who's that? Oh, it's my brother, my older brother. He passed away, though. And it's these little things that made Knoxville even more and more feel bad of his predicament. Like, what he's doing. But, I mean, I think there was enough of them in there. Like I said, well, my point is not every one of these type of movies needs a love story, but, you know, it's not bad. It's just, if you didn't have that, maybe the time could have been put into learning more about these other characters, or even Jimmy. Like Jimmy, like why? Okay, he's winning, but like why is he such an arrogant, cocky? I get it. He's the antagonist. It's not like you got a lot of development of Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore, so I get that. I just at least Shooter McGavin was much more of a personality and much more of a memorable villain. Jimmy's kind of there. He can run. He has an entourage, and he's a bit cocky. But that's really all you know about him. Like you don't really know much else about Jimmy. There's not really moments of him being very devilishly evil, or oh maybe there's a little bit more to him than you think, so he's not as bad as you think he is. He's just kind of there as an antagonist. So, like I said, there's not much to talk about, which is too bad. Like I said, maybe a little bit more with him. Again, so that's me. If a little bit more build up with some of these supporting characters, I think that could have helped as a story. And maybe could have gotten some comedy out of that. That's not making fun of them, but maybe like Jimmy and the other guys, they like throw jabs and barbs back and forth, but they're not quite right, but they're kind of close. Like maybe they're throwing insults back and forth, but the insults are not really what we would say, but they're able to say it, or they say stuff and well, you can't say it because you're not us, but we could say it. Or something. I don't know what I'm talking about, but at the end of the day, the film, I didn't mind it. It was okay. It, like I said, it's not as, what was the word I used before? It's not as poor taste as you think it would. So I can appreciate that. That and some of the actors made at least a decent watch. So and again, I did get a couple chuckles out of me. So didn't mind the film for what it was. Didn't mind it. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye for now.